everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the brand new set here at PCTV, bringing you Our Schools, Our Future. This is a program that's going to be brought to you by the Pittsfield School Committee. I am Catherine Yan. I am the chair of the Pittsfield School Committee. I am joined today by Dan Elias, the vice chair, and we are beginning a new venture here at PCTV. It is our pleasure to bring to you, over the course of the school year, items from Pittsfield Public Schools to highlight what's going on in our schools. We'd like to inform you, we'd like to entertain you a little bit, but most importantly, we'd like to enlighten you, and we'd like to show you what is so special about the Pittsfield Public Schools. Mr. Elias, maybe you could tell us a little bit about how this show came into production.
Sure. A few months ago, Chief Riello approached me with the idea of putting forth this show. That was a great idea, so he worked behind the scenes getting this to the point of where we are tonight. And then the idea came about that it would be great if we could just rotate the host. Different times you'll see myself and Kathy, you'll see Cindy and Pam, you'll see Josh and the Chief. So we'll cover a wide array of topics, and we think it'll be a very positive thing for the city of Pittsfield and our schools to showcase the many wonderful things that actually do take place. We realize that many of you listening at home do not have students in their school system any longer. Maybe it's been 20 years since you have, and this will open your eyes to some of the wonderful things that do take place. So we're very excited about bringing the show to you. We think it'll be a good tool for us and for you. Thank you.
And we're very fortunate today to have as our very first guest, this is all history making, the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jake McCandless. Dr. McCandless, welcome to our program.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here for your first show.
Yeah, and we thought it would be appropriate to start our show as we're starting our school year with the topic, why Pittsfield? Why? And we thought you'd be the perfect person to start us off on that road of why Pittsfield.
I spend a lot of time talking up and down Berkshire County about why Pittsfield, and very pleased to be doing it here. And I, probably about 2 hours ago, I was walking through the cafeteria corridor of Pittsfield High School, and I saw one of my sons sitting in the hallway having a cookie, and I said, "Where'd you get that cookie?" Because he got his love of cookies from me, and he said, "I got it at the culinary arts program," and I stopped down at the culinary arts program and bought a cookie, and then had lunch, and I thought to myself about this show. There's so many wonderful things that happen in the Pittsfield Public Schools, and I feel like I have the double privilege and the double honor of not only being a parent of one child who's gone K through 12 and graduated from the Pittsfield Public Schools, but two more children in the Pittsfield Public Schools. So a son at PHS and a daughter at Herberg. All three of them went to Egremont and to Herberg, and all three of them have just had fantastic experiences. So I get to be a parent, but I also have the honor of getting to serve, the 5,000 or so families that we serve here in the Pittsfield Public Schools. And in the 42,000 residents of Pittsfield, I get the honor of serving too. And hard to believe, starting my 4th year of doing this. And so I do feel like I'm in a unique position to say why Pittsfield. And thinking back to when my wife and I made the decision, when we answered for ourselves as a couple and as the parents of a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old at the time, why Pittsfield? We bought a house that was near Egremont Elementary School. We thought it was just a beautiful little school with a beautiful playground, nice neighbors, a supportive city, and we've never regretted a day of it. And as our kids have gone through the elementary school and through the middle school, and at least one of them the whole way through the high school, we have just found that the Pittsfield Public Schools have done a terrific job of supporting us as parents to support our children to be great citizens, great students, and to understand that their world is made up of great people, not all of whom look like them, come from the same income bracket, have the same beliefs, have the same religion, but nonetheless, their world's made up of great people. And the opportunities that they've had in the Pittsfield Public Schools have just been marvelous.
Yeah.
And when I think of the opportunities that they have chosen not to partake of, it's mind-boggling because just of the breadth of things that we offer here in the Pittsfield Public Schools.
Yeah, I think sitting here we can think, Dan, why Pittsfield School Committee as well. I think we went to
Yeah.
Pittsfield Public Schools, and I know I did, Dan did, and we feel the same way about Pittsfield. I came back here, I pursued my teaching career here, and it was a community that I thought gave so much to me that I wanted to give back to this community. I think, what do you see that makes Pittsfield so unique?
We, and I've had the opportunity to work in a neighboring district, and I would start with just the fact that we have 1,100 staff members in the Pittsfield Public Schools, over 1,100 staff members. Almost 650 of them are people who have degrees and are certified by the Commonwealth to do what they do. And I can tell you the amount of expertise that we have in instruction, in curriculum, in helping students get socialized, and helping students overcome challenges, and helping students push ahead of where they ever thought they could be is just remarkable. And the expertise lies in academics, it lies in athletics, it lies in the arts, it lies really in almost every area you could imagine one could go off into the world and step into. And so I think first of all, what makes Pittsfield special is just we have deep and wide expertise. We can offer a variety of things because of our size that really no other school district in Berkshire County, or for that matter, almost in Western Massachusetts, can offer. Last year we gave, I think we had like 33 opportunities for students to take AP courses starting their 10th grade year.
It's amazing.
My student that's a college freshman right now walked into his freshman year having taken 5 college level courses through the AP program. And I know there were students who took more. We're all well aware of the Taconic Chorus this year toured Europe, along with the College of St. Rose. We know that the Pittsfield High Orchestra is an award-winning orchestra on a national level. Our students, including students with special needs, display artwork at the Liechtenstein Center, at the Clark Museum of Art. It's just a remarkable place.
Yeah, and I think too, as you sit on the Berkshire County Educational Task Force,
Yes.
and that's the group that's exploring what to do with the declining enrollment throughout the county, and what we're going to do about, meshing those communities together, and getting more bang for our buck, if you will. And when you look at everything Pittsfield offers in comparison to some of the smaller communities, you can see that we really do shine. And it is a shame, because as we look at educational equity in the county, that's an issue, and that's what everyone wants to ultimately attain. And we have a great deal that we do offer.
We do.
Absolutely.
We do. And we spend among the least on a per pupil basis. We're really in close to the bottom 3 of expenditures on a per pupil basis for our students here in the city of Pittsfield. And I think we can be very proud of the fact that for those expenditures we offer more, be it special education services, in the arts. Our career and vocational technical education program is really one of the largest in Western Massachusetts, and it's here in Pittsfield. I think it's one of our best kept secrets. If you drive out by Valentine Road and see the new Taconic starting to move upward, you can see really how dedicated this community is and how dedicated you all are as school committee members to making sure that our students have and particularly in CVTE, have first-rate places to be learning the trades that they are going to use to move not only Pittsfield, but really the whole county's economy forward in the future.
Yeah, I often joke with Dr. McCandless that with everything he does, he's also building a school. You have
That's
to remember
right.
he's building a school. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So you've mentioned some, the enrollment of teachers that we have. We have some new faces in the mix this year. Would you like to mention some of those new faces and some of those key positions?
Sure. We welcomed about 45 new staff members, licensed staff members, to the district this year. We're very, very pleased to have a City of Pittsfield graduate, Robin Zwack, who is Robin Backer-Zwack, who's joined us as the principal of Stearns Elementary School. Donna Baker, who has given decades and decades of above and beyond service to students in the Pittsfield Public Schools, finishing her career as principal of the Crosby Elementary School. Erin Dean, who was the principal at Stearns, we asked to go over to Crosby, and just thrilled to be bringing back an alumnus to step into that principal role and absolutely hit the ground running. Gosh, I hate to start mentioning names because I'll forget people. We have a new dean of students at the Morningside Community School, Lawrence Carrier, who's a young man that went through the University of Massachusetts program and is joining us from the Springfield Public Schools. I rode up in an elevator to a meeting yesterday with Lawrence, and I felt like a little kid looking up to him. Just a person who is already you can see what a commanding presence he is at Morningside, and that his love for children and his respect for children shows through, and he gets it right back from those very same children. And then just really, new faces in the teaching staff across every building.
Yeah.
Across every building. We also, sticking with administration for a minute, we asked Judy Rush, who is the longtime principal of Egremont Elementary School, to come over and serve as the curriculum director, and that has been a tremendous addition to our small central office staff. And Jared Materas, who was her dean of students, joined us, stepped in to be the interim principal, and is having a great year so far. So a lot of changes. And
we have that new position over at Morningside.
We do. We're actually piloting a new position at Morningside. It's the assistant principal for teaching and learning.
Yeah.
And it's really with the Commonwealth's new educator evaluation program. It's really the good news. I'm just chatting with folks at the Berkshire County Educational Task Force meeting about this last Saturday. It's really hard for principals in that it has really turned a principal's job from managing a building to being the educational instructional leader in the building, which we've talked about for years. But then, somebody has to get the schedules done. Somebody has to monitor lunch. Somebody has to make sure the buses are coming and going. And principals still have to do that. But this is really refocused energy on being in classrooms, helping teachers recognize what they're doing well, helping teachers recognize what they maybe could be doing better, and helping to find ways to help them do better. And to that end, Morningside is piloting a position. It's the assistant principal for teaching or learning, and that's somebody that is not covering lunch duty, not fishing in the garbage can for retainers that got left on the lunch tray. They are in classrooms all day, every day, helping teachers understand how to leverage the things they're doing well and how to improve the things they need to do better. And we're very excited about, looking at the data and seeing how that position impacted the school for the better, and perhaps trying it out in some other schools as well.
Yeah, this is perfect for this type of show, to get that word out there
Yeah.
to people who, as Dan says, might not have kids in school, might not have the opportunity to get in schools. So now
Right.
they can understand that it isn't all the status quo. And I know
No.
Dr. McCandless, for one, as was indicated in the evaluation, you're constantly reflecting on your practice and what works and what doesn't. So I think that was great leadership to take that position and pilot it. We'll see if it works. If it's something that works, then that's something maybe we can expand.
Yeah, we really hope so. And I'd love to say that was my brainchild. I would be dishonest in doing so. It was really as I often say, it's one of those things that the principal said, what if? What if? And that came from her work, Jenny Stokes, with the rest of her colleagues, and came through Mr. Curtis, the deputy superintendent's office, up to my office, and at each stop along the way, the idea just made more and more sense. And in my position, watching each of our 12 principals try to navigate this new evaluation system, and knowing that Morningside represents, students who just quite simply sometimes have more barriers to being all that they can be in terms of learners than some students in other schools. We really felt like this position with the right person could be very powerful, and the right person in this case, a young woman named Kristen Pallett, who is. She comes to us with a degree in curriculum and instruction from Columbia Teachers College.
From Pittsfield,
a Pittsfield Public Schools graduate.
Kristen Smith, she was.
Yes, she was. The historian.
Yes.
We're lucky, and so to see folks who. To see folks that are not only dedicated to making the Pittsfield Public Schools the best it can possibly be is I think we all share that mission, but some of us have that sort of anchor point of this is their school system. I bring the anchoring point. Mr. Curtis brings the anchoring point. Ms. Benke, one of our other assistant superintendents, Mr. Brady, our assistant superintendent for career and VOTEC. All of us have either had children or grandchildren in this district, and then we have people like Ms. Pallett, who's a graduate, who is bound and determined that with her professional time, she is going to make Pittsfield better. Yeah,
and it says so much about our community that she's willing, as a young person, to come back to Pittsfield and really apply her craft here.
Absolutely.
It really says a great deal about that. And I think too, to let people know. So we're working on that for Morningside, and last year we instituted the registered behavior technicians.
Yes.
As opposed to putting in another administrator in the school,
right.
We went with, what do we have, 10 or 12?
We started off with 12. We wound up hiring 8, although at this point in time, I believe we're back to 10, because there have been a couple of schools that we've actually put 2 in, and those are positions that really, for the cost of a 4th or 5th year teacher, we can get 2 people who have been specially trained to monitor student behaviors, figure out what some of the triggers are that start to create behaviors in children, and then have the capability to really deal with them on the spot in the short term and help devise a plan that gets us past those behaviors altogether in the long term. And it's been a very cost-effective, very successful way to come to terms with something that I really think every district, probably in the Berkshires, in the Commonwealth, and in the country, is challenged by right now, that there are more and more students with every year that goes by that come into our buildings with that are not having sort of what we picture as this idyllic home life. There's some real challenges in homes, and there are some homes that are very challenging, and even for kids to get up in the morning and be at school is a tremendous victory. And that shows itself in a lot of different ways. It's different with 3-year-olds than it is with 6-year-olds and with 12-year-olds. And we really feel like dropout prevention, starts in kindergarten.
Exactly.
And so by helping students understand some of the patterns that they're getting into, get them beyond some of the behaviors, because in very few of our students, it's rarely an issue with intellect that is holding a student back. Very rarely do we have a student that they are simply not capable of doing grade level work. What is often holding them back is that their own behaviors get in the way of really capitalizing on that intellect that they have. And so we put a lot of energy and a lot of training, professional development, time and energy into helping ourselves understand so that we can help students understand where you are right now is not having to dictate where you are a year from now or 10 years from now or 20 years from now. We've put a lot of effort into helping all of us understand that we have to operate out of a growth mindset, that whether it is your intellect or your behaviors or your work ethic, we are capable of changing all of those things for the better.
Yep.
And that's really what those RBTs help us do, along with several other, programmatic and support programs, is just to that it's your behaviors might be a problem, but you are not a problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's that equation of just getting them through the front door. So
Absolutely.
problematic, but once they get to that front door, these possibilities exist. So this opportunity, is there a couple things you might want to mention that you're particularly proud of, or you'd like to shed some light on as some of the positive things happening going forward this year?
Wow, well, we are proud of so much. We're just in a couple of weeks, not this upcoming school committee meeting, but here in a couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about our advanced placement program, and we're really last year had an all-time high in terms of participants, and an all-time high in terms of participants that maybe in the past didn't participate before because they felt advanced placement, college level work was not for me. We have some wonderful data that we're going to share. We have some terrific data that we're going to share here in a few weeks around our performance on the PARCC test. Just some growth in some areas that's off the charts. We're very, very proud that a lot of the work that we have been doing over the past 3 years, but really honing in on last year and the year before that, we're doing a lot of work with cultural competence. We're doing a lot of work with cultural proficiency. And I think that's likely to be a topic of another show in and of itself. But, we really just need to get all of us understanding that not everybody is the way that we are. And that can go for the color of our skin. It can go for the way we choose to live our life. It can go for the things that delineate us in our society based on income level. But those things aren't to be feared, and those things aren't to be ignored. They're to be seen as, there are differences between you and I, but we can work together and communicate and get past those differences and create greatness for everybody. And I think our test scores are starting to show that, some of our growth areas. Some of our greatest growth was in a group of kids that the state considers the very hardest to move, which are economically disadvantaged students. And we're very excited about that. Tomorrow night at tomorrow night's school committee meeting, the September 14th meeting, I'm going to talk about our Welcome Back to School from the Black Star Project, where we had a very, very special and heartwarming welcome back from a group of adults in this community for a very special group of students
powerful.
in our community. And we're going to use that as sort of a springboard to talk about cultural competence in general and some of the things we're doing as a school and as a larger community to take those things on. And most of all, I'm just really proud of we've now started our first full week of school. We got a couple of days in before Labor Day. Then we had our short Labor Day week. This Monday was really the kickoff to, we're going to get in a full 5 days. If you walk through classrooms in the Pittsfield Public Schools, today you'll see learning targets on the board that are really very, very discrete, pretty simple sentences that just give everybody, adults and kids, this is what you're going to be able to do when you walk out of this room today that you couldn't do when you walked in. That's a part of our revamped district improvement plan we're going to bring forward.
Yeah, it sort of ties in with what I observed at the professional development when they were dealing with the issues of teaching students with poverty in mind by Leanne Nicholson, I think it was, who gave the workshop, Eric Jensen's work that she did.
Right.
And you're actually getting into the classroom and you're seeing at the classroom level how these techniques are employed and how you make sure that every student in the classroom gets it before the student walks out.
Well, and the secret, and I'm sure you folks as elected people who are trusted by the entire community to do the work of running the public schools. I'm sure you get this occasionally as well, but every once in a while, someone will ask me about, well, you talk about poverty so much and you talk about trauma so much and you talk about things that, what about my child? My child doesn't fit any of those categories that you're talking about. And the the best answer that I can give is the good news for everybody is that the very specific, discrete, targeted strategies that work for students who are economically disadvantaged, from students who have rough home situations, the things that work for students who are learning English as they're learning all of their subject matter, the things that work for students who have experienced trauma in their life, the same things that are very effective for helping those students be all that they can be, work for every single one of our children.
Exactly.
They're powerful strategies that work for everybody. They're strategies that if we aren't engaging in them, we know that we have some students that simply are not going to be learners with a capital L. And so if we don't engage in these strategies, we know that we're leaving some students back. The good news is if we engage in these strategies, not only are we helping those students, we're also helping every single student in the class be a better learner, a better achiever, and have more opportunities awaiting them when they cross that graduation stage with a diploma in their hand.
Agreed. I know as a teacher, whenever you worked with a special education teacher, you gained incredible insight into wonderful techniques. Well, I can see that this first show has gone by very quickly. And I think and for the folks out there watching, you can already see that we have so many things going on in these Pittsfield Public Schools. And we have things we talked about 33 opportunities for AP classes, we talked about the challenges of behavior issues, we talk about the new curriculum and instruction techniques that we're using. And we'd like to, as I said, this is our first show, we'd like to continue these conversations and these discussions so we can bring to you so much of who we are, what we are, and why we do what we do, and why we're so passionate about the Pittsfield Public Schools. The next program, I believe, will deal with cultural competency. This is certainly something that is very prevalent in our community, and it's important, again, as education in learning what is cultural competence. Why do we need to be culturally competent? How can we be culturally competent? So I think everyone will have something to learn with that particular show. And as I said, we're going to rotate through hosts of Pittsfield School Committee. The shows there'll be 2 shows a month. They might be shown prior to our school committee meetings. We haven't set on a schedule yet, but I hope that everybody just takes the opportunity, if you see us on your screen, that you stop and take a look and see what's going on in your Pittsfield Public Schools. Mr. Elias?
Yes, and again, the hope is we'll air them before the school committee meetings as a lead-in. I think they'll be a very valuable asset. And I want to give a special shout out to Conti. Tomorrow they're opening up their school, their doors, and their community to welcome the parents and students in. A great get-together, going to have music and food and just idea that make everyone feel like they belong. So a special shout out to them, and we look forward to the shows going in the future. And it's the hosts will rotate. The ideas could be different. So if there's something that you'd like to hear us touch upon, you can reach out to us too. So thank you.